Hi, I am Bola. I grew up in a small town with my family. I am a 16 years old naive girl who just graduated from high school. The following year, I got admitted into a university and I was very happy. So was my family. My parents advised me before I left for school. Everything was going on well until I met Dayo. Dayo was a very handsome boy. He was tall, dark-skinned, and lived a luxury life. Girls flocked around him, flirting with him. We sat next together in one of the lecturer's classes, and from there became friends. Not long after, he asked me out. I was over the moon. I said yes, and we started dating. Everything was going on well. He takes me to shopping, we attended classes together, spent time together, until Dayo started having control over me. He started asking me to skip classes, taking me to club, making me drink and smoke and dressing indecently. All this new attitude reflected on my result, and I was worried. Dayo asked me to sleep with my lecturers, which I did. Things did not stop there. In my 200 level, Dayo asked me to drop out with him. I did because I love Dayo and don't want to lose him. We both dropped out from school. I started living with Dayo, while I kept pretending to my parents that I was in school. Things continued this way. I did all sorts of things for my boyfriend. He made me start sleeping with men for money, including his friends. I was miserable but couldn't stop because I don't want to lose my boyfriend. Few months later, I became ill. I was taken to the hospital and the doctor confirmed me pregnant. I was shocked. I went back home and told everything. The doctor said to Dayo. Dayo was furious. He slapped me and asked me to leave his house. He threw my things out. He told me he wasn't responsible for the baby. I begged him to let me stay because I had nowhere to go. And I don't want to return to my family with the pregnancy because my family will be disappointed in me. My pleading with Dayo fell on deaf ears. I had no choice but to return back to my parents. My mom and dad were very disappointed at me. I was accepted back home. My mom and dad took good care of me all through the days of my pregnancy. 9 months later, I gave birth to twin boys. My parents were so happy. 1 year after the birth of my twins, my parents sent me back to school to complete my education. 3 years later, I graduated from the university as a first-class student and a certified biochemist. 2 years later after my graduation, I was doing well as a biochemist. I met a businessman named Obinna, who I got married to. He accepted I and my twins and we were living happily. One day, I stumbled upon Dayo, who looked tattered and was a total drunkard. I decided to help him. I took him to a restaurant and bought him food. He pleaded with me to come back to him, that he wanted to see his children. I told him the kids weren't his, that they belonged to someone else. And I also told him I was already married. I gave him some money and told him I already forgave him, that he should stay away from I and my children. My kids and I and my husband lived happily together, and I also had children for my husband, Obinna.